No motorcycles were harmed in the making of this video. Just for demonstration purposes, people. All right, folks, here's what we're doing today. I'm gonna get the rear wheel off of the bike. This is a stock 180. I'm gonna be putting a 200 on that. I'm also not gonna be doing this myself. I'm gonna take this to a dealer to get this done where I get all my other tires put on. And then after this is done, we're gonna put the signal lights on the front and the rear. We're gonna get the engine guards put on from Lawless Garage. Then we're gonna get the ride command finally put on the bike. Now, the reason why I'm replacing this with a 200 instead of a 180 is because I like watery ends. It's gonna fill it out a little bit more. And we shouldn't have to adjust the belt any at all, as long as I don't mess up the tension that's already there. That should be easy. All right, the first thing we have to do, of course, is to put the bike on the jack. So once the rear wheel is off, we need the front wheel sitting on the ground so the bike doesn't fall over. We're first gonna get these two bolts off right here for the brake caliper. Woo! God, I sound like I broke them. Yeah, that works. So the whole idea here is that you don't want the caliper hanging off of that brake line because you can, tear it and cause it to leak. So that's good. So next up is taking off these adjustment nuts, or actually backing off of these by 2 full turns. So I'm gonna use this marker to mark the top so I'll know when 2 full turns is. So I'm gonna do it on this side, and we're also gonna do it on this side. And normally you would take the exhaust off because the exhaust would be in the way. That's one thing I can say I love about my M109R is that it has a drive shaft. All you have to do is take the axle nut off and the brake caliper and the tire literally comes off. That's it. And when you put it back on, you line it up with the splines. But with the belt driven bike, you got to make sure that the belt tension is good, and it's more involved. 2. All right, so we got a 27 deep socket, and that's gonna go in like that. And we're gonna take the breaker bar. We're gonna get this axle nut broken loose. Jeez. That fell off. I'll let this down just a little bit. I took the hammer and the screwdriver like that and just tapped on it. I'm gonna push this out. This is why you read the directions. I forgot I was supposed to roll the wheel to the front to break it loose from the sprocket and the belt. It was only like 2 minutes, but you see how hot it is in here. Oh, there we go. We also got the wheel speed sensor here that when this pops out, we gotta be very careful so we don't tear that. And now we're gonna roll this forward so the belt loosens up. Here we go. Loosen up the wheel speed sensor. It's kind of up and out of the way. There we go. All right. Here's this tire, which, for a spare tire, I think this is fine. Also, we got the sprocket on this side. It's a good time to inspect the teeth. Being that the bike doesn't have many miles on it, I'm sure it's fine, even if it was in the accident. The bearing looks good. No need for that to come out. The rotor looks good. I'm sure that's in spec. There's no shake on that. That's good. The rim, obviously, no dents, no bends. All right, so sprocket. Everything here looks good. I'm gonna take these out. All right, there. Stand this up. Everything looks good. And tomorrow, I'll get this in the car. I'm gonna get this to the shop. So that didn't take too long. It just took a little bit of finesse. But if you didn't know, I'm actually rebuilding this wrecked Indian Chief to fund what I do here on the channel. So if you want to actually get a chance to win my Indian Chief, I was about to say wrecked Indian Chief, win my Indian Chief when it's done, you can get your sticker pack by heading over to BrandonBicasso.com and get entered. And yeah, you get a chance to win this bike when it's done. I've been hush-hush about it, but this is actually the color that we're going with on the bike. We got the blue pearl into a black pearl fade. This thing's gonna look absolutely crazy when it's done. I'm super excited to share with y'all how everything looks on the bike. And I haven't even seen it in the sunlight yet, so it's gonna be pretty sick. So let's go ahead and get the new tire put on, and then we can put that back on the bike and move on to everything else. All right, folks, one day later and $20, I guess, used to get this tire changed. We got the 200 on the rim now, so let me show you what we got. This is the 200 with the rim on it. See, that looks really good. So yes, a stock 200 will fit on the stock rim, no problem. So even though this is grease, I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on here. Next, we gotta install the cushion dampener, and the side with the 2 dots, that is the side that is going to face the outside. Just sits in there like that. Next up, we got this spacer. That is gonna go in like that. Woo, it's a little bit tighter in here now, boy. Alright, now I should be able to get this built. Track. All right, man. Now it's time to just bolt it back in right there. Oh, I forgot the wheel speed sensor. Oh my God. Okay, that wasn't too hard. So space and everything. So now I should put this back on here. It's a little tight. All right, belt is on. It's time to tighten everything back down. I ain't gonna lie to you. This thing is looking good. This tire looks, Avons just make a bike, it just transforms the rear end of a bike and the front end. Man, this Avon looks good. Grease up this axle so it doesn't fight me too much. This, with the crush washer, the side facing out, goes on there. The way that this works is that as you're tightening the axle up on this side, the crush washer sits in this little groove. So as you're tightening, it locks against this. So you don't have to put anything on the other side. The torque specs for this axle is gonna be 65 foot-pounds. I had to double and triple check this because I have snapped off bolts before, but yes. All right, next up is getting this caliper back mounted. We've got 2 bolts right here, and each of these are gonna be torqued down to 29 foot-pounds. Okay, yeah, it goes behind like that. Slide in like that. All right. We got this set to 29 foot-pounds. I've double and triple checked. Done. I am very satisfied with how the rear end on this bike looks now. That 200 is gonna fill out that fender just a little bit more, 10 millimeters on both sides compared to the 180. And you know me, I like thick rear ends. We got the V-Rod and we got the M109R and we got the Hammer in here, and they're all sporting either a 240 or a 250. So one day I would love to be able to get another Chief and put a 240 or 250 on it. But 200, it'll do for now. The last thing is turning these back to their original position. That's why I marked them, so I have to turn these both 2 full turns. All right. 2. I know this is not a perfect measurement, but you know, it takes some force to push that down. Worst case, we just adjust it later, but pretty sure that's pretty good. Next up, we're going to be installing these engine guards and protection for Chief from Lawless Garage. These things are absolutely meaty, just like the tire. They're heavy, got some weight to them. There's their signature logo right there. Before I get to that, if you didn't know, when this Chief is done, as beautiful as this bike is coming along, I'm gonna be giving it away to a supporter of the channel. So if you wanna get in on that and win a Chief for a little of nothing, you can head over to brandbicasso.com and get you an entry. The entries are limited. They are limited, so the odds are really good. So yeah, head over to brandbicasso.com, get entered, and yeah, let's put these bars on the bike. All right. We don't need the original equipment that we just took off the bike. Lawless Garage gives us everything we need to put these bars on. The only difference is there's no torque specs, but there is a Loctite that they give us. So we're gonna Loctite everything, tighten it down, and we're gonna be good to go. All right, so we got our Loctite, and we got our first bolt that we're gonna put in on this side right here. It's recommended by Lawless to install these with 2 people. I'm gonna assume that I don't have 2 people like most of you. So I'm gonna use my stool, and I hope you have something to prop it up. And as I put this side in, I'm gonna leave this kind of mounted on here, so when I come back over here, I don't have to worry about it like falling or anything. And this bolt is gonna go right in there. Got the next screw right here on the left side with the Loctite. It's gonna go in right there on the top, and then the other one's gonna go on the bottom, and on the back side of the top one, we have a nut right there. All right, so I did loosen this side back up a little bit so I can route this clutch cable under that and not have it sitting in front. All right, this one on the bottom does have a spacer. It goes up between it like that. And we got the nut. It's gonna go back side of this one on the front. And the final touch is putting these stoppers on. Done. The Lawless engine guards are now on the bike. Took 30 minutes, and that's with me filming. Easy install, and dude, those things are solid. I am very pleased with how these things not only look, but the craftsmanship and the quality of the materials that they use. These things have some weight to them, so it is gonna add some weight to the bike, but I'm definitely confident that if the bike falls over or something happens, the bike should be good. As I said before, the right rear turn signal and the left rear turn signal, these were given to me by somebody that watched the videos. His name is Jameson. Once again, thank you for these. I didn't have to go out and buy brand new ones. These were just sitting on the shelf and he sent them to me, so appreciate that. And of course, I had to give him some beer money. But yeah, I appreciate it. Right there. Here for the right. I don't have this fully mounted. It's kind of sitting in the little chamber. Come on. All right, something's not working. I sat here for the last 5 minutes trying to figure out why the rear signals wasn't working. Check this out. All right, now we got rear lights. Try this again. And left. The rapid flashing is going to happen because I don't have the front ones on, but yeah, I'm figuring that out. Bars are done. The rear fender's back on. We got the rear turn signals on. We got the rear tire put on, the new one, the 200 compared to the 180. Yeah, did a lot tonight, and now it's time to test out these engine guards. All right, it is the next day, so let's pull the bike out and test these Lawless Garage bars and see how much of the bike is protected if it tips over. Oh no, I'm falling. Oh no, the bike just fell over. What am I gonna do? Now this proves that these bars on both sides do a good job at protecting the intricate parts of the bike. See that the cam cover right there is protected, the heat shield is protected. Now if you have a different exhaust, there's a good chance that that steel may get scraped. Now on the other side, the most you're going to scrape up is probably the foot peg assembly. So these bars do a really good job at protecting this bike when it falls over. And you can see right here on the back, it's not much, nothing's actually touching the ground but the engine guard. I put this here just so we obviously don't deliberately scratch it up, but these Lawless Garage bars do a really good job at protecting this bike. I'll pick it up from here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, as you guys can see, no scratches on the bike, nothing dented, nothing broken. Pull it back in. We're not gonna slip this time. Lawless Garage makes parts for both Indian and Harley Davidson, from protection to foot pegs, I think to grips as well, or maybe levers. And they also do exhaust, in this case for Chief. So if you're looking for some bars for Chief, I can definitely recommend that these bars do protect the bike. I can't tell you how many times I've come close to dropping a bike in as simple of a situation as a parking lot or even leaving out of my driveway. So it does happen to the best of us. And again, if you're looking for some bars for Chief, definitely check out Lawless Garage, or also some of their offerings for Harley Davidson and other Indian motorcycles. Definitely check them out. And also, of course, even when I bought the bars, they gave me the handlebars for the bike when I was in need of some. So yeah, Lawless Garage, they're good folks over there. If you're new here and you want to catch up on the series, you can click this playlist and start from the very beginning. And also, if you didn't know, I'm giving away my Indian Chief at the end of this series. So if you want to get in on that, which the entries are limited, you can enter by clicking this card right here and going over to BrandonBicasso.com and get entered. And also you get a sneak peek of kind of what the bike looks like. But as always, thanks for listening to my story, and thank you for supporting this new to me series. And yeah, as always, if you're subscribed, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.